Riley Gaines got a big opportunity today, and she was in front of the microphone giving emotional testimony on Capitol Hill, saying that she not only had to compete against a biological man in her swim competition, but she also had to share the locker rooms.
I'll set the scene. A swimming locker room is not a place of modesty. You're undressing, you're fully exposed, and we were forced to take off our swimsuit in front of a man who was doing the exact same thing. If nothing else, I truly hope how you can see this as a violation of our right to privacy, and how some of us have felt uncomfortable, embarrassed, and even traumatized by this experience.
Louisiana Senator John Kennedy was at the hearing, and he joins me now. Senator, always good to see you. Thank you for joining us. We also showed, heading to the break, your back and forth with an endocrinologist who you challenged on the question of the abilities of biological male athletes versus female athletes. Go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
You ready? Oh, okay.
Senator, thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Well, my Democratic colleagues called a hearing today. They invited 3 of their witnesses to convince the American people that it's okay for males to compete against females in sports. I have to say, there was a sort of a Alice in Wonderland weirdness about the whole hearing. For example, one of my Democratic colleagues' witnesses testified that there are 3 biological sexes and an infinite number of genders. I've heard better answers on the dating game. Here is the way I think most Americans look at it. Number 1, in America, you should be who you are. Number 2, generally speaking, it's not acceptable to discriminate against someone because of an immutable characteristic unless there are good reasons. For example, it's okay to tell a 13-year-old that he can't drive. That's discrimination on the basis of age, but there's an acceptable reason. Number 4, unless you think there's an award for being stupid, you know that there are 2 biological sexes, male and female. And males have a physical advantage over females. And if you allow males who claim or pretend to claim that they are female to compete in women's sports, the male's going to win every time, and it will destroy women's sports. Point 5, to Ms. Gaines' point, I do not think, I won't speak to her situation, but I'll speak to a related one. I do not believe that a 12-year-old boy who claims or pretends to claim that he is a woman has a moral or constitutional right to change and display his penis to a 12-year-old girl in a female junior high locker room.
Yeah, that's problematic.
I just don't.
It's problematic. And as you say, I mean, as I always point out in these conversations, it's not that people don't have compassion and understanding for kids who feel different, but you can't impose upon others their situation and make them uncomfortable. That doesn't make it a better situation. I want to replay the back and forth that you had with the head of the Human Rights Campaign today on the Hill in this hearing. Watch.
Biologically, do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician, and I can't speak to that.
What's your real-world experience?
It depends.
So
they're taller than some women and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
So what do you think was learned in that conversation, Senator?
Here's what I learned, that the loon wing of the Democratic Party, which has taken over the party, wants to allow males who claim to be females identify as females to compete in women's sports, in which case they'll win every time. My Democratic friends want to allow a male prisoner to claim that he is a female and to have the government be required to allow him to serve his time with females.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier, I guess. In a female prison, there have been situations where the suspicion is that is what is at work for the placement.
That's why I say we're into the foothills of weirdness here.
All right. Thank you very much, Senator. A fascinating conversation going on there, and Riley Gaines standing her ground. Anybody who can recall the image of her standing next to Leah Thomas understands what you're saying about the challenges that she faced, which she has very articulately brought forth, and why she believes she is not discriminating against anybody. She's sticking up for her own rights in her sport and other women as well. Senator Kennedy, thank you, sir.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.